everybody. It's been a little while. It is now at 3 months post-op, and the last video I did was at week 8. So this video is going to catch you up through weeks 9 through 13, which is basically 3 months. So let's get started. So week 9 was pretty chill. Not literally, it was still snowing out and snow on the ground, so I couldn't do a lot of my practicing walking outside. But towards the end of the week it cleared up and I was able to get back out there and try to iron out the kinks in my gait, which there are plenty. But you know, just being outside without a brace on and trying some very small terrain differences was definitely a challenge enough for me. And yeah, it was good. But the biggest development, I think, was getting the bike trainer. Bought this cheap bike trainer off of eBay, and it really helped me get my range of motion going, because beforehand I was kind of stuck around 100 degrees, and all my old range of motion exercises and tricks weren't seeming to get me any farther. So I thought, okay, the bike trainer might really help me. So I set the seat up pretty high, and so just so I could get a full turn of the pedals, because I wasn't able to do that at PT. And so with my own rig, I figured I'll put that seat up way high so I can be successful, and I was, and just amazed by all the different sensations that came from being able to do the bike, you know, a full range around, working some new muscles, working some new edges with range of motion. And a little secret, yes, it did help quite a bit, and my range of motion kind of cracked it open and started getting those gains. But yeah, that was about it for week 9. In week 10, still staying on routine and discipline about doing my PT every day and taking some walks. But some of the new features are, for one, I finally fixed my inflatable hot tub and was able to get in that, and that is awesome. So the warm water, for one, just be able to loosen up the muscle, and then the buoyancy is the other real feature. I'm able to do a few more stretches while I'm in there and able to start pushing the range of motion. And then the other thing is I actually went out in the world, did an errand, went to the grocery store without my brace on. Felt super weird, you know, vulnerable. Took it really slow, walked around, and did my best to keep my gait normal and make sure that nobody around me could tell that I was injured. But you know, I don't know if that was, if they noticed or not, but I was able to do it, and that was a big step, because you know, that got to have a first for everything. So in week 11, I was able to stroll up to PT, walk in without my brace on. I felt all grown up. And so there we worked on single leg calf raises, some hamstring curls with the ball, and it was the first time doing the double leg presses. I didn't get any footage of me actually doing it physical therapy, but basically here's an example of me on the reformer doing the double leg presses. And when I did it, it was really painful. Felt some pain in the back of my knees, very sharp pains, but after a few reps things started feeling a little bit better. But my quad was really shaky and felt weak, but it felt nice to be able to get that deep into a bend. It's about 80 degrees flexion, and was able to work it from there. Then in week 11, I made a little post on a awesome Facebook group that if you have not already signed up for this, you definitely should. It is called the Quadriceps Tendon Rupture Recovery Group on Facebook. So yeah, if you're suffering from this injury, please be part of this group. It's a very great resource. But here I'll read what the post says. It says, I'm about 11 and a half weeks. I've been doing a lot of walking. First it was just a couple laps up and down my street and working on my gait, then venturing around the block, then 2 blocks, then 3. First time doing errands and some outside home projects without a brace, then some uneven terrain on the grass and some local playgrounds. Then took my dog for a short walk on his leash, then today a small hike. I used one walking stick and navigated some hills and debris on the trail. The quad is feeling good today for the most part. It felt really good to get me into some nature and doing something that wasn't just routine rehab stuff. Plus, it is my goal to climb the same mountain where I had my injury and be able to make peace with that place and close that loop. One step at a time, I'm coming back. All right, and in week 12, things were really starting to take off. So my life changed dramatically because I decided, it was also time to go back to work as a Pilates instructor in studio instead of just teaching online. So that requires me to stand for 4 hours at a time for my shift. And as you can imagine, it had its challenges. It brought up a lot of, believe it or not, old injuries. I have Achilles tendinopathy on my left Achilles tendon, and I had healed that, so I thought, over the last year. But with the new quad injury and having to use my left leg so much, that has flared up again, and now I'm kind of back to figuring out how to heal that. And the teaching has exacerbated that, having to be on my feet. So that is another journey for me to have to figure out. But as far as the physical activity stuff goes, I am still progressing and very happy about how that's been going. So, for example, my range of motion now, as you can see here on my bike, I've dropped the seat down lower than I would normally for riding, but I'm trying to push my range of motion, and you see I've gotten to 122 degrees here in week 12. And yeah, so it's getting better. I felt stuck around 100, 105 for a couple weeks, so I'm happy to see that that's starting to progress. And the other things, I'm just taking on new challenges. So here, on a nice sunny day, I decided to choose this pretty steep hill by my house and see how a nice steady decline would work. And, it worked. It's difficult though. There's some pain in my knee, especially like in the medial side there, and I'm uncertain if the pain itself is from, I'm assuming the pain is from novelty and the muscles being weak and having not been asked to do this type of load in a long time. So I'm getting these warning messages saying, hey, take it slow, be careful. Not quite sure how we do this yet. So I take it as a good sign. It's an interesting pain. It's not like the pain that comes with a chronic injury, say like my Achilles tendon, but something a little more sharp. So I take it as a good sign. I take it that I'm working it in a way that is challenging it, putting just the right amount of stress on it to get it stronger. And then one thing that's interesting about, I live in a rambler, so I don't really have any stairs. So in week 12 was the first time that I really took on a flight of stairs. So at work, I have like 20 stairs here, and I decided to finally try to go alternating legs downstairs. And conveniently, there's 2 rails here on the side, so I was able to use those rails to go down. But it actually felt pretty good, so much so that I was encouraged not too farther, but the following week, in week 13, to, as you saw the very first of the video, walk downstairs on my 3-month anniversary with no hands and be able to accomplish that. And also in week 12, I got my final permission, which is to do knee extensions, or other open chain exercises. But I modified it a little bit, and I put a band and attached it to my massage table and used it as kind of this knee extension device. It's just really lightweight, but enough for me to get a load on the knee and do those knee extensions. And then also are the step-ups. So I got this 9-inch bench that I use here, and this was what actually gave me the encouragement to start trying to walk downstairs, was by starting these exercises and seeing that I was fairly successful. I did start originally with putting my hand against the wall, but I was feeling pretty confident to be able to go without using my hands. And then didn't get all of these exercises recorded, but here's the straight leg raises with the band. But I did end up actually, my exercises are to actually go front and the side and the back with both legs, and those are some really awesome exercises. And then I got these squats here that I attached this strap to this convenient pole that we have in the middle of our living room, and just trying. I got these a couple weeks ago, but I'm just able to go a little bit deeper and trying to stay balanced and not favor the right leg. And to finish off week 12, I will refer to another post that I put in the Quadriceps recovery group. Today at 12 weeks post-op, I'm getting some insight as to where I'm at in this recovery. At first, right after the surgery, the knee is hot with inflammation to start the healing process. It clots to stop the bleeding, and then a round of irregular collagen to start the scaffolding. Eventually, the scar tissue, that is, the new tendon, starts to gel. But after a while, the knee starts to cool down and the acute phase is over. And that is where the movement stress is essential. It is now my job to keep energy pumping into the leg. It is sculpting time. The surgeon put my quad back together, but it is not exactly how it was pre-injury. So I have to create the correct stress lines to bring my body back into alignment. This means discipline. It means patience. It means being methodical. It means being smart. This means pushing my max ROM a little bit every day, going for a walk and strategically bringing in some terrain challenges every day, doing my strength exercises. It means giving my body the proper nutrition to fuel my recovery after stressing the muscle. I'd also have to probably add the correct rest as well. It means having compassion for the disappointment because I still can't do the things with my body that I have always been able to do. It means staying creative to combat the boredom that comes from having this routine. It means allowing myself to be filled with gratitude for the things that I can do and for the opportunity to heal to whatever level I can. And rant. And so that brings us to week 13. I had my 3-month follow-up appointment with my surgeon, and he is really happy about the range of motion I have and the strength that I have at this point. He shared some encouraging words with me that I may not actually have to cancel my backpacking trip that's coming up at the end part of July, first part of August. Said I'd be pleasantly surprised with the strength that I have at that point. So he has a lot of confidence in his work and confidence in my ability to get there. So I figure as long as I keep up what I'm doing, then I should be able to do it. And what else? We got my flexion, which is about 125 and still improving, but it's getting slow, it's getting hard. Like the sensation I get is like in the back of my knee, I have some restriction in the back of my knee. It could be from posterior glide not working. It could be from my hamstrings still kind of tight and holding on and grabbing. I'm just trying to work that out with my massage therapist and my PT, and hopefully it just takes time and that will work itself out because I have goals of being able to touch my heel to my butt like I can on my left leg and like I could before this injury. So that is one of my big goals. So keep posted for that. Yeah, I think that's what I want to share. Things are continuing to improve, strength's continuing to improve. I'm still feeling pretty weak and shaky, but to be expected at this point. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you have had this injury and you'd like to be part of a group that you ask questions on and get to see what other people, what their journey's been like and where they're at, then I highly encourage you to join the Quadriceps tendon recovery group that I've been talking about. And I'll put a link below so you can click on that and find it that way. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment if you have any questions and want to engage that way as well. I'm totally open to that and will do my best to give a thoughtful response. Okay, that's it for now. I appreciate you watching these videos and wishing you the best on your recovery journey and hoping it's going well. All right, till next time.